Okay, so in this video, I will explain to you how the developer can use the API, but not actually how they will use it in their own code base, because every developer uses a different code base. However, I will show you how they can test the API, which every developer will most likely do. So first of all, they must go to the landing pages mini app under the section publish and share and choose the API option. So first, they have to click the issue API key to get the authorization key. Okay, so they must copy this API key and store it somewhere safe. Now, this is important because once they hit the done button, they will no longer be able to access or look or see this API key anymore. Okay, so make sure you copy it and then hit done. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to demonstrate testing using Postman. So Postman is a tool that developers can use to test APIs. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and first paste the bearer token by choosing bearer token and pasting the token here. And then going back to SimTrain, for the authentication of this API, they will need to choose bearer type authorization with the API key on every request. And for all the API calls, the base URL will be this one. And then there are rate limits, which is 60 requests per minute per key. Otherwise, it will return the error code 429. So before I show you how the developer can use the post call with the API with the URL v1 leads, I will first show them how to use the API call get for v1 options. The reason for this is in order to create a lead with the call post with the API, you need all the required values. Okay, and while these values like name, parent, phone, email, gender can be inputted freely, the course has to be a legitimate course available in the SimTrain database of the organization. Okay, UTM is optional. Going back to the GET request. So the first is that they can get this URL and then they can test it in the Postman with this link, and then the authorization, make sure that they have picked the bearer token and pasted the API key there, request to get the subjects. Okay, so for example, we have these subjects and their ID. So these are the IDs that we will use to create the leads. Okay, so the developer can use any way they want to display these courses in their website, their own website. Okay. So now that we have an example ID, I'm going to show you an example of how to do the request for posting a lead using this API. So you just have to change the URL to options. Leads. Okay. So v1 leads, and then this is an example. So for the post request for the API v1 leads that can create a lead, I'm going to use this example values. I'll exclude the UTM because it is not necessary for this example. Okay, and I'm just going to paste, and then I will run it. Okay. So when it succeeds, it will return the response data, lead ID, and this corresponds to the ID of the lead. So dedupe false means that there's no duplicate leads. So this is a unique lead that will have all these values, Janin Tan, Mary Tan, which is essentially the same as the forms that we can embed. But with the API, we no longer rely on the UI created by the embed or the content created in the mini app, right? With the API, you can customize all the how you display these values. You can make your own form, which then uses these requests, API requests, to return all this data as a read. And so that is the function of this API, meaning you can customize your own website to send all the data into the SimTrain database of your organization instead of using the pre-made customized content in the content and form settings. So after we have posted using the Postman, the lead is showing up in the organization under leads. So that is how the API works. It is connected with the SimTrain's database.